Heyo all here, name's Catro, and I am bringing to you my Fire Emblem-based TTRPG system. This came about when I was trying to look for a couple to play with some of my friends. I found a couple, Anna's Tavern, one other one that I can't really think of the name of right now, which were both very good systems. Clearly had a lot of love put into them, but they weren't exactly what I was looking for, as a lot of them either leaned like way too much into Fire Emblem or either way too much into D&D. Like they were just wanting one system to support either just the game purely or just Dungeons and Dragons. And I was looking for something that was a bit of a mix, so I started to create my own. And I've done a live stream where we did character creation, but it got a little hectic because one of my friends, his internet was like glitching out. There was a lot of dead space as I was helping 4 people to help create their characters, so I decided to just go ahead and make a video to explain character creation in case people are interested. Who knows? I plan on working on this project for a while now anyways. I don't want to just throw it in the dust. And there will be moments where it's done, or there's a bit more done one month than there is another month. I do work a full-time job, and then I do the story commissions and stuff on the side. But this is very much a love and passion project of mine, so we're just gonna get right into it here. Now, as of right now, I don't have any like editable PDFs or anything because I'm cheap, and to be able to make an editable PDF file, you need to like spend money, and I'm just not gonna do that at the moment. So we're just gonna go with just the character creation doc. So if you do end up getting your hands on this, I will ask that you at least make a copy of the character sheet, so that way it's not auto-filled for everyone else once things go through. But we're gonna just go right from the start here. So player name, as you see by my character sheet maker, I'm just calling him Josh for now. Affinity. This reminds me, I will say this is heavily inspired by the GBA titles. They're some of my favorite titles of all time, plus the Tellius games, which really lean a lot into the GBA games. So there's going to be some things on here that newer Fire Emblem players you might not recognize. That's because they are from the older games. So Affinity, this one hasn't been in a Fire Emblem game for a hot minute now. Basically, there's a list of them. I do have them in the rules, but since this is just character creation, I'm just going to go with Fire for now. A good basic one. And my character's name got moved over. Okay. And then, oh wait a minute, this is supposed to be my name. Catro. There we go. So we can tell I'm very professional. There we go. Character's name. Josh. And then next you'll see support partner, support rank. This isn't anything new to Fire Emblem, but it will be used a bit differently in the system. But we're not going to touch this for now. Gold, don't have to worry about it. Movement, we'll get to that here in a minute. Level, we're just going to start at 1. Basics of basics here. 0 to hero, as they say. And then class. So I do have a list of the classes already typed up and made with their base stats, and they each have a class skill already. And I'm going to go with the Myrmidon class. Just seems like a good basic class to go with at the moment. So I'm just going to underline that. Okay. And then hopefully that's bugging someone's OCD as much as it's bugging mine. So we go to the Myrmidon list here. Myrmidon, fast sword user specializing in light footwork, weapons, and then here's the starting stats and the skill, Artful Dodger. Once per short rest, this unit can roll dodge with a +1, and that's supposed to be shift there. With a shift +1, oh wait a minute, I got it. There we go. Editing while recording. Beautiful. So anyways, we'll go back to the character sheet here. I'm going to move it right to where it's beside the Myrmidon. That's the skills. We don't need those yet. Okay, so I don't know why you got put there. hello? Okay, you know what? We're not going to deal with this. Okay, weapon proficiency. Myrmidons use swords. And that's what our character's going to use. Now, in this system, I thought a good way around, you know, just like the straight up, everyone has to use their weapon, because realistically, in real life, you know, if you're using a sword and someone threw a spear at you and it clattered at your feet, there's nothing physically stopping you from using that weapon. So in this game, you can use other weapons, a bit like Three Houses, but if you use them and you're not proficient in that weapon, you roll at basically a disadvantage when you use it. So it's not impossible for your character to use the weapon, but it will be harder for them to use it. And then let's see here. Our starting health points is 18. 18. I'm just going to underline that again. Okay, and then the left here is going to be your current amount of HP, while the right side is going to be your max. So if I'm ever in battle, I take 3 damage. I have 15 out of 18 damage. So, there we go. EC. So this is going to be a bit more towards the Dungeons and Dragons side. This is basically what you need to have roll, or what you need to roll, or have someone roll against you to get hit. So the Myrmidons' AC is also their luck. Well, everyone's AC is their luck. So that's 11. And the AC can change depending on like what items you're using, what one second. Other stats, things like that. So there we go, and then movement is going to be... Oh wait, no, EC's 10. I lied. Okay. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm dumb. Luck is something else. Luck is something else that we'll get into here in a minute. And then movement is going to be the base 5 move. If you played Fire Emblem, you'll know 5 is like the basic move for most units. Okay, and then next we get to go to our growth rates here. And in the system, you can divvy up your growth rates however you want to. You have 300 points to spread across all these stats. The only limitation that you have is with movement, which this might honestly change. I have it right now because Thracia did have movement as a stat that could increase. I don't know if I'm going to keep this. I'm still in the middle of playtesting. I haven't actually gotten to people leveling up. I'm going to be doing a campaign to really give this a good test here. We're actually doing a mock battle this Thursday, and then we'll be doing an actual campaign not next week, but we'll be starting it the week after. So the only stat that has limitations is movement. You can't have it any higher than 15. So I'm gonna bust out my calculator here, and I'm going to spread out my growth rates. Give me 1 sec here. Okay, and we're back. And if you were to add up all the growth points that I just put down, they would equal to 300. Character's fairly balanced growth rate wise. I didn't put anything into magic, even though I will have magical swords and stuff in the game. There's even some listed on the weapons chart right now. I just figured I'd go basic and just have my character focus on strength, because that's what Myrmidons focus on. And then next, for the stats here, we'll just copy over what we have from our Myrmidon sheet here over to my actual character sheet. And then I'll be right back after having done that. Okay, and then we're back, and as you see, I forgot the luck. Very professional video here, I know. Luck is 11. Okay. Now you can see I got all the stats done. As you see, left has numbers, the right side does not. These are if you get any bonuses or anything from potions or whatnot. As I'm currently working on a potion system that is a skill that lets you brew potions. The skill is called alchemy. But yeah, there'll be other ways for you to get bonuses, like items, like strength band, shields, things like that. But yeah, so these are our base stats. These really don't change at all. I mean, if you're a GM who lets people switch their stats, like I have a person who's playing a magical base character, and they asked if their magic could be higher, like if they could subtract a couple stats from other places and add to their magic stat, I let them, or they said they wanted to switch their strength and magic. I said, okay, fine, because I'm a kind GM. I'm one of the few GMs out there who doesn't try to kill their players all the time. That's a joke. But yeah, so we got our base stats here, and then these are more important for then just combat. Because next, this is going to be the big part of character creation. We're going to skip the weapons and items screen here, and we're going to go down to skills here. First, we got our class skill. So if you've played Fire Emblem, you know that skills have been a part of the game for a very long time, since Fire Emblem, I want to say, actually no, I mean technically the weapon triangle is a skill, so it's been, there have been skills in every single Fire Emblem game. But in most recent ones, you've been able to like earn skills through level up and whatnot, and I did that again. And this is no different. So each class is going to have a skill for its first like base class, and then when they promote, there's going to be promoting in this tabletop. Then you'll get a second one. You'll still get to keep the first one unless it's like a direct upgrade. Like Thief, they get what I believe I called like golden fingers, and then if you turn them into a rogue, they get something that's called Master Picklocker. So they lose golden fingers for Master Picklockers because it's just an upgrade of the skill. And then support skill, we'll get into that here later. Crits, dodges, nothing that we're going to do now. But here's where our stats are going to come into effect. So each point of stat, or each point you get in a stat, you can invest into a skill underneath the same name. So I have 4 strength. So that means I have 4 points to put into the strength skills, which are listed under the character skills here. And I only have 4 to put across all of these. So it's not like 4 per each stat. It's like I can't put 4 into build, 4 into shove/smite, 4 into sheath master, things like that. I get 4 points across all of these. So we're just going to be quick here with it. Sheath master, or we'll go over the skills here too. Build, your ability to use heavier weapons and determines who you can shove/smite. This is really the only way that you're going to be able to increase your build, to be able to shove characters who have higher build than you. Shove/smite, if you've played the Tellius games, you're probably very aware of this skill, where you just push a character forward. Rinka could also learn this skill in Fire Emblem Fates. And then shove moved you 1 space, smite moved you forward 2 spaces. Sheath master, this is just my way of trying to balance things out. This lets you carry more weapons, because if you look at the one screen, and my computer's glitching out, lovely. Okay, there it goes, it fixed itself. As you see here, unlock Sheath Master. This lets you unlock more spaces for weapons. Base for weapons and items is you can hold 2 each, but if you unlock these, you can get more spaces for them. Power Slash, this basically increases, is just a flat +1, +2, +3 to all damage. Intimidation, this is for RP purposes, so if your GM lets you try to use it in a battle, more power to them. Unarmed Combat, this lets you fight without any weapons. And then Forge, I gotta fix this, there's a typo in the character sheet, I just realized. This lets you like build and upgrade your own weapons instead of having to go to a smithy in town to do so. So let's see here. For Myrmidon, I think, let's see here. I want to do Sheath Master, so 1. I'm just gonna put 1s for these for now, or you know what? Ignore that. Is that? That. I'm just gonna put a dash there. Yep. So that's 2 of my points. Shove really isn't all that great. Build could be good because there are weapon weights in this game, and if your weapon is higher than your build, you're slowed down by 1 point for every point over your build. That could be useful, but I can't get anything right now. Unarmed Combat, honestly, let's go for it. Because that could lead to some quirky things with the shift system, which I'll explain in more detail in a different video. But yeah, that could lead to some fun stuff. So we used all 4 points in strength, and then just for everyone's convenience here, you can come here to your character sheet and you can put what rank that you have of it, so that way you're not having to flip to all those skills every time. And then unarmed combat, I got rank 2 in that. We have that. And then you'll also see here, like on the side with the bonus dice and these little dashes, some skills come with like the extra bonus dice. Intimidation, you could get extra dice to roll along with the d20 to see if you pass an intimidation check. And then some skills are like limited uses per like long and short rest, and you can use these little checks here just to mark off how many you've used per your time, and then you can erase them when it's time for them to be reset. Okay, and then magic, we have 2 in magic, so we're not going to be getting anything crazy useful, but let's see what we can get here. Tome Flipper, we're not using magic. Tome Precision, not using that at all. Oh, I guess I should explain it. Tome Flipper, extra damage. Tome Precision gives you extra tome range. Magical Aura, transforming a physical attack into magical attacks 3 times per short rest. And then at rank 1, it does 50% of the damage you would normally deal. And then rank 2, it deals normal ones. Research, able to find information about specific topics. And then history, knowing the just little facts about races, towns, and cities that your character might be able to know. Scan, look at items to see how they work, and even draw blueprints. This would be very big for like creating blueprints and potions for those skills if you want your character to learn how to use a forge or to make potions. Master of Terrain, you're able to ignore or double the effects of terrain when attacking or being attacked. Refreshed every short rest. I should probably change that to long rest. That seems like a pretty powerful move or ability there. Let's see here. You know what? Let's just go with 1 of each. So we got rank 1 in research and history. And that's bolded for some reason. Not sure why, but okay. 1. Alright, so we got our 2 points there. Speed, we should have a good bit of speed, right? 10 points, yeah. We have a lot to play with speed. And then I'm going to delete these because actually this is the main copy of the rule set as well. So if you use this, also make a copy of this. Be courteous to others. Okay, so speed, actually I got it right here. Move again. If you played the GBA games, you're aware of Kanto. Same with Tellius. If you played Engage, you're well aware of Move Again. That's one of Sigurd's abilities. That's basically what this is, except it can be used on anyone. Artful Step, get a reroll in combat. Can be used for hit, crit, dodge. And yeah, a long rest. I think that's fair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Honestly, that would be pretty cool to have. So we're going to go with rank 1 with that. That's half our points gone, but that's a pretty good skill to have, I would say. Quick draw. Do more damage when initiating combat at range. So this is going to be specifically for bows. Or I guess for magic too, because it also doesn't... Oh wait, it does specify physical damage, if I could read. Dodge Master, gain upshift during dodging. Dodging would be nice. We're going to be kind of a squishy unit. Let's go with rank 1, so that's going to be an extra 3. 1, so we have 2 points left. Let's just put it in rain handling. This is just going to be your checking how well you can like control a horse or Pegasus. Now, if you're using like a horse or like a cavalry unit or a Pegasus unit, this isn't going to like really affect like you in combat with them. That's more like in an RP moment, like say a horse is running by and you jump on them and try to get control of them. That's more specifically what this is for. So we'll just go into rank 2 for that. And my computer's glitching again. Lovely. There we go. So 2. And then my bonus dice, I get a 1d4. Fix yourself. Yep. Nope. There we go. And keep zooming out. Okay, there we go. Then darting blow. Oh, this is also speed. Oh, you know what? I got a better idea. Just because I know how this is gonna go. So we're gonna bump that down to rank 1, 1d2. Then rain handling, darting blow. This skill's been used in Fire Emblem before, a little bit different than in here. Rank 1, you get +2 speed when initiating combat, and then rank 2, you get the +5 that you might be used to from Fates. Quick hands. This is basically helping you steal. Deft fingers, pick locks. I will say, for picking locks, if you're familiar with tabletops, not everyone is as good as other people. This skill lets you roll at, like, neutral for it, but if you don't have this skill and you're not a thief, you're rolling at disadvantage. And then Vantage, when at 50% HP or lower, you can act when an enemy attacks you, attacking them first. Now, normally, you cannot attack, like, retaliate when an enemy attacks you, but vice versa, an enemy can't attack you back. So if you have this skill, you'll be able to attack them. Now, I am thinking about making it where you can only do it a number of times per long or short rest, so we'll see, but as of right now, that's going to be a good skill to have. So Vantage, and we're just going to put 1. That way I know that I have said skill. Okay, then next we're going to move on to defense. And as you see here, these skills are in order with the character sheet, or they should at the very least. Unmovable when not attacking you using items, you get a bonus to defense when attacking. So kind of like Shield Strike. A human shield, valuing the life of your friend or allies, you jump in the way of an attack, taking full damage. Kind of like the chain guard system from Engage. Counter, deal back some of the damage you take on an attack, and attacking, moving an ally behind you. 2 uses. Recharges every long rest. Deals 25% damage back to the attacker. Deals 50% of damage back to the attacker. Smash Strike, again, this is from Engage, where basically you attack someone and you push them forward. I don't know actually why this is here. That should not be there. Yeah, so this is just basically if you get attacked. I think when I was like doing some editing, this the chain guard got added, and this is basically actual chain guard. Like, you jump in front and you take a % amount of damage, like not the full thing. And then Bulldoze, you ramp through enemies, taking 2 points. 2 points of movement to get through an enemy, dealing 10 damage and throwing them to the side. And I will have to add here that your build has to be higher than theirs. Let's just put build has to be higher than enemy. I have a lot of this stuff in my head, and then when I try to type it out, I just kind of forget about it until like I reread it for the 50th time. There we go. So yeah, and basically you can do that whenever you run through an enemy, you knock them to the side, dealing % amount of damage to them. Oh, let's see, what was our defense? It's not going to be high as a Myrmidon. 6. Actually, that's not terrible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could get counter right off the bat. I kind of want to get Smash Strike though, because that just seems fun. So we're gonna put 1. We got 3 points of defense points left to spend. You know what? Let's go with like the Navarre archetype, and we'll do Chain Guard. Get Chain Guard. What was that at? Counter, smash strike, chin guard. Yeah, we can get rank 1. Cool. And now we only get to use it once at rank 1, but yeah. Also, I say the Navarre archetype, I meant more so like from the anime where he was protecting Lena. Though I guess in Shadow Dragon, he also... You need to talk to him with Lena to recruit him, so I don't know. But in the anime, it was more so him protecting her. Then resistance, we probably have crap in resistance. Oh, 6, okay. You know, you'd think since I typed these out, you know what the stats are, but there's just so many of them. Alchemist, this is the skill that lets you have a good chance at, like, brewing potions and stuff. I don't think I have it typed out yet, but in my TTRPG book, where I write down my ideas, I do have, like, a basic list of ideas for crafting material. Scavenger, this is, like, you finding stuff for crafting. Knowledge is power. You get to roll 1 stat every level up, so say that you level up and you try to, or you fail to, like, say Josh fails to get a strength level up, I can re-roll to try to get that. But we'll explain leveling up here in a minute. Field Medic can use a healing item on an ally for a fraction of its power, and it goes up to 75%. Staff Basher, in the campaign we're gonna have, I actually have a cleric, no, a troubadour actually, and they decided to go all the way through with this. I think they could only get to rank 2, but it was kind of funny that they just kind of went for it right off the bat. And then give me 1 sec here while I get a drink. But yeah, if you play the Telius games, all of this should look familiar to you. As in 10, if you attacked a cleric and didn't kill it, it would hit you with its staff. Most of the time, it wouldn't do anything. I think the only time I've seen someone deal damage with a staff was Oliver on that meme video where he, like, killed one of the bosses in one of the end maps. But yep, and then you can use your staff on yourself. Then at the start of the turn, if you have a staff equipped, most will cast on you with no durability cost. This is going to be things like heal, mend, things like that. Nothing like berserk or warp. Diplomacy, another RP one. Sneak, be able to move around. This is mostly going to be RP focused. But yeah, and then that is all the resistance. Don't ask why sneak is in resistance, because I don't know. I guess just because you got to be resistant to people's eyesight. But you know what? We got 6, so let's go with 2. Actually, wait a minute. Let's go with 3. That gives us 3 points. And we'll just get diplomacy as well. So, knowledge is power, just in case you get a bad level up. Or at least you don't get the stat that you really need, because if you played Fire Emblem, you've definitely been there. And then 3, I believe. And that's an extra 1d6. D6. Dexterity is next, and this is skill. I just went with dexterity since that's what most people know skill as nowadays. Back that up here a bit. A lot of space. Okay. Bow range, extending the range of bow attacks. Rank 3, you get a -1 to hit. As someone who's using the sword, not going to be that great. Marked increases chance to hit an enemy. Does not work on enemies on terrain, so there is a stipulation with that. And then once per short rest, gain shift +1 to a hit roll, 2 times, 3 times. Killer blow, you get a +1 shift to critical rolls. Rank 2, twice, the same thing. Animal handling, this is going to be like your general animal handling, like pets, wild animals, things like that. Improvised attack, you can throw a one-range weapon at an enemy at basically a penalty for 2 times the damage to try to hit them, which honestly isn't the worst thing for a Myrmidon, because then that way I would have an option at a range attack, even if it's not the most great. And then Crit Master, all hits, or all critical hits deal times 4 damage instead of the normal times 3. And then I will say if you're a Berserker, you do have this skill, and then if you get this skill along with the Berserker stack, it like jumps to plus or times 5 damage. So there shouldn't be much surviving if you're a Berserker and get a critical hit with this skill. What was my skill? 8. Oh. Oh boy. And my computer's glitching again. Come on. Work you. Come on. I don't know why it keeps doing that. So we got 8 points. Oh. You know what? Let's just go for it. Times 4 on critical hits. That sounds pretty good to me. And then obviously we need to get bow range. So 4, so I only got 4 points left. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? Let's go with this. Just because it could be helpful. Then we'll just leave that where that is. Normally, if you're filling this out on your own, you could just mark right here so that way you know you put your last point there. That's where we're going to put our last point. But again, since this is like the base copy, I'm not going to do that. So we did that. And then Charisma, this is not a GBA stat. This was introduced in 3 houses. And I don't remember if it returned in Engage. I don't think it did. But we're using it here just because it does have like some RP precedence, and I thought it was good to incorporate it. So let's see here. Our charisma was not that high. Yeah, 1. Again, leaning towards that Navarre archetype deal. Great crit master, not much in the way of personality. Persuasion, deception, etiquette, connections, gossip, shopkeeper's friend. Actually, someone suggested I just call it this. Anna's friend, so there we go. That's what we're going to call it. I can't get the 10% better price of shops. This is basically the gold card from GBA, but made as a skill. Let's just go with connections, because we're playing a Myrmidon, so we got to be dark and gritty. Okay, my computer might actually blow up. I don't know what's going on with it. And that's it. So we got all our skills, and these are used in combat, out of combat, things like that. And then we didn't look at Artful Dodger, which is the Myrmidon skill. Once per short rest, this unit can roll dodge with a shift +1. I think I called it avoid, actually. Yeah. Roll avoid with a shift +1. And again, we're going to be getting into what a shift means in a different video. Just know that basically it's either a bonus or a penalty to your rolls. But yeah, just a quick rundown. Oh yeah, let's go over the... Oh wait a minute, we're not done. I forgot about weapons. We didn't unlock unarmed combat, so we have to get weapons. Of course, we didn't get Sheath Master or extra pockets, so that means we're stuck with 2 each. But with this, you get 3,000 gold to spend on both weapons and items. So you have to like be pretty stingy with what you want, because I could get like a silver sword right off the bat, and that's half my gold. And then you see here we got the names, and then we got like all of these stats and stuff for all of it. I got swords done, I got lances done, axes, bows, daggers will be making a return, anima, light, dark, staves, and then there's also dragonstones, but they're not here since you can't buy them, and dragonstones might not even like make it into the final thing. I do have a player playing as a Manakee, but it's very much a test. axes, but since I'm a Myrmidon, no point in me really looking at anything down here. I got the Dark Brand here. This was specifically for the friend who wanted to play a magic-based character, so I was nice, and I, like, made a magic sword for him. It's the Dark Brand. As you can, we have the Light Brand up here. It's basically just a neutered version of that. Like, it only has 1 range, 5 attack, and it's very neutral in what it does. Oh. I should probably add that it does light damage, but I'll do that later. But yeah, so I have 3,000 gold. What are the other silver weapons? Oh. Okay. I did get these numbers from, like, the wiki or Serenus Forest for, like, the cost of them. Either that or I just lied and I don't remember. I could have sworn I got these numbers from, like, an official source somewhere. I did get, like, the character base stats, like the class base stats from everyone. Like, I believe this is Guy's starting stats from FE7. I could be wrong, but I do know it's, like, one of the starting Myrmidons that I got it. The Thief one, I know I used Matthews from Fire Emblem 7. I tried to stick with, like, the GBA characters. Let's see, weapons. So I could get a silver sword. That does affect my dodge. What is my con? 8. Oh, I can use the silver sword at base without any penalties. That seems a little broken, not gonna lie. But I guess on that same vein, anything a character that you create can do, your GM can also do it, so be careful. I made 6,000 for the rapier, 5,000. Honestly, the silver sword seems like a pretty good deal, but Armor Slayer, that might be a little better. Because there is no weapon durability in this, just because I didn't want people to having to keep track of too much. Lance Reaver, that would be interesting to have. Oh, let's just go with the basic. Pardon me. No, we could go with an Armor Slayer and a Steel Sword and still have 1,200 or 1,200 points or gold to deal with. Words. Move this over here. I'm gonna go with Armor Slayer. Arm Slayer. And then we fill out the might. Right there. It is 8 might. Honestly, what would be kind of funny is if I made it so the Armor Slayer deals half damage to non-armored units. And then, let's see here. We'll get the shift +1. We're just going to put +1. Then, come on. Then everything else is neutral besides dodge. Undertale, wow, okay. I guess we're playing Undertale now, boys. Boys and girls, ladies and gents. Range is going to be 1 on that bad boy. Okay, not sure why it highlighted the entire thing. Cool. Cool beans. And then weight is, I almost put 2. 11. Okay, so yeah, my character is definitely going to be definitely going to be slowed down using this. And yes, that was English. And then next I said Steel Sword. Sword. 8. I mean, at that point, then why am I if it's the same might, why am I getting that? It's like 1 weight less. Go with an iron sword. I gotta bust out the calculator here. 3,000 minus 100 minus 60. So yeah, this is me a little over 1,300 gold to play with. So yeah, let's go with the iron sword. Wait, split. 5. There we go. 5. And then, you know, we got the gist with this. I'll fill this out later. And then items. Go to the item page. And then we'll see very familiar things here. I mean, technically you can buy all these if you have the gold, which you don't have to start, but I did have the cost of the culinary, concoctions, elixirs, healing items, door keys, chest keys, unlock doors and chests, lock picks. These can unlock basically any lock, and then you only lose durability if you fail the check, and they have 5 uses. And then if you play a thief, you do get a lockpick right off the bat, so you don't have to worry about buying one. Red gems, these are going to be sold. And then we have our stat boosters, which you won't be able to buy off the bat, but just wanted them there. Delphi shield, and then this is basically the Watch shield and whatnot as we know them. Iron Ruin stops crits. And then here are some things that I just kind of thought of. If you have these, it lets you use different weapons as at neutral. Cape Winds, basically the Night Rain from the Tellius games. Well, I said the Tellius games, it was only 9. Crit gives you a bonus to crit. Shields give you bonuses. All that fun stuff. Evasion gives you +2 on EC. I used to call it DC. EC. So yeah, there's that. So we're gonna get rid of that. Items. I'm just gonna go with a vulnerary for now. Minus 300, which means I have 1,000 gold left. That has 3 uses. And then heals 10 HP. Center there. Underline. Center. Underline. Except we didn't need the spaces underlined. Gosh dang you. And then underline. Okay, so yeah, there we go. And then we have 1,000 gold left, so we'll just put 1,000. Well, we have 1,040 left. My bad. I don't mean to lie to you guys, I promise. Okay. Baby, come on. We're almost done. But, and then support partner, support rank. If you played Fire Emblem for any amount of time, you're aware that you can get supports. In this system, you will be able to get support. You'll do it via like a special item that you give a person that you want to support with, and it goes up to S/A+ rank, however you want to do it. And then if you get to S/A+ rank, you actually get to learn a skill that your support partner knows. It can't be a personal skill, but it can be any of their class skills. So it kind of wanted to do it to lead to like some quirky combinations. And then I don't remember if I said it, but luck is basically your crit avoid. So we start with 11 luck. Say someone tries to do a critical hit at me, they need to roll a 12 or higher. If they roll an 11 or lower, they don't crit, but if they roll a 12 or higher, they hit a crit and deal 3 times damage to me. But going over quickly what we just did. Player's name, that's your name. Affinity, the affinity that you want your character to be, which does affect some skills. Your character's name, obvious. Support partner, who your character is supporting with, the rank they have, your current gold, your current move, your current HP, current level, what class you are. EC is what you need to roll to make a hit against someone of that class. Weapon proficiency, what your character can use. They can use other weapons, but without one of those special bands, they do roll at disadvantage with it. Growth rates, you get to make them however you want. You get 300 points to spread across all of these, except for movement, which is no higher than 15. Stats, you get your base stats from the character sheet area. Again, we use Myrmidon. Here's the base stats. There it is. And then these affect all the skills that you can get. You only get to put in the amount of points that you have per skill area. So strength, I had 3, so I could put 3 in. I had 4, so I could only put 4 in, but I thought it was 3 because of these. And then same for all the stats, you just distribute the stats that you have into their respected skills. And then lastly, with 3,000 gold, you figure out what weapons you want and items, and you put the stats here, and then you are good to go. And then leveling up, we'll talk about that next time once we get into combat. If you're interested, watch the mock battle. We'll be having it at 8 o'clock. Yeah, we'll have it 8 o'clock or 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be doing just a quick mock battle because one of my players couldn't make it this week, so I just figured I'd throw everyone into that, so that way we're not having to explain it into actual sessions. But yeah, so this was character creation. If there's any questions, any suggestions, please let me know in the comments. But for now, bye.